Okay, yeah.
What's your giant week?
Oh, man.
Giant attack.
Dude, I live on the road now.
Condense it down into 12 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, like, I'm going to start off with just, like, so when we last left off, I was in New York and had, like, another day to go.
It's true.
And so on the last day...
How's your stab wounds?
Hi. Fine. Fine. Not
Recovering.
bad. Not bad. I went to this thing that I talked to you about it, Matt, not too long ago, but it's this show called Sleep No More. Mm-hmm. And it's probably the best stage production I've like ever seen. You go down to you sign into a hotel and you basically walk through these fucking giant warehouse doors into pitch black darkness.
Okay.
You sign up and get a playing card that acts as a ticket, and then you get led into this like speakeasy kind of lounge BioShock bar. Mm-hmm. And this host comes out and it's a creepy old hotel. And he introduces the whole night to you, and he's like, well, we're going to be escorting you onto the premises, enjoy your stay, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. You get forcibly separated from anyone you go in there with, and you're given this mask
you apart.
right here.
Ah, masquerade.
So everyone has to put on this mask.
This creep-ass
mask, right?
It's like a plague mask.
It's like the Scream mask with the bottom cut off and with a duck bill kind of
type of thing, right? And so everyone at all times must keep that mask on, and you all get ushered into random floors, random places in this giant ass empty warehouse. And so you walk through it, and not warehouse, like a hotel. Mm-hmm. And so I got put off on the bottom floor, and I saw everyone kind of go left, and I just kind of went right in this area.
That's what you should do.
The whole thing is dark. There's music, like creepy ambient music throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And what it is...
audio logs.
And honestly, what it is a real-life video game.
Yeah.
It's a self-contained ARG. And you go around and like you look at things from like people that are staying at the hotel. You find messages and letters and things to look at. And every once in a while, you see somebody that's not wearing a mask, and that's a character. Mm-hmm. And then they're doing their performance.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to follow them and see what they do, or keep going.
So they're running their NPC routine.
They're running their routine.
Yeah.
Well, but it's the opposite way, really.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah,
you're
the NPC.
But their routine is like a full thing that you can go through, and like I came across somebody and I stuck with them for a little bit, and then they briefly crossed paths with another person, and you see just a crowd of people watching them. They all get together, have a moment where something happens with their interaction, and then you choose which one to follow. And then they both go sprinting off in two directions, It was unbelievable because like
running?
Running. And you have
people running.
Yeah, and not everyone makes it.
Yeah.
Right? And then they sometimes...
What happened? He's dead!
And sometimes they go sprinting up or downstairs and shit like that, and you lose them around corners and end up lost in a completely different area. Right? Yeah. There's shit where there's hidden doors and things.
That's
and
really cool.
You get lost in a forest type area at one point.
What?
Like there's an indoor forest with a hedge maze.
Okay.
And I was following this nurse, right? And she's like a creepy fucking weirdo nurse that's walking on her own, and I noticed that she sprinted past me. I was going the opposite way, and there was a giant crowd following her, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm first. So I ran behind her, and then she slipped through the cracks of this fence I'm not big enough to fucking slip through.
You're too big.
Yeah. So I'm like, shit. So I exterior collisions it down, until I eventually find my way through the maze to where she was. And I come across her finding another nurse on the ground. They pick each other up. They have this whole thing. And we follow them to this area, and the whole thing, there's no word spoken. Mm-hmm. It's all through just gestures, noises, and
all
movement.
Mute.
Right?
Oh, nobody speaks.
No one speaks the whole time.
Okay.
Right, so it's a silent thing. And at one point, they go into this cabin that's locked, and they go inside and lock the door, and you can't follow them. But you can kind of peek through the cracks of the wood to see what's going on, and they're having a weird interaction in there. And then at one point, the door flies open, one of the nurses comes running out, and the other one's like, no, wait, kind of come back, kind of gesture. And then she goes running out, and then everyone's staring, looking at this one that's just kind of lost, and she looks around, and then she looks at me, and extends her hand, and I'm like, and she grabs my hand, and pulls me alone into the cabin.
You got lucky.
And shuts the door. And no one else is in there. and then she sits me down and like pulls my mask off, and like there's a moment, and then she starts actually explaining a part of the plot of what's happening.
There needs to be that at least at some point.
Which I'm not going to spoil for anyone
Of course
it happened
not.
to.
Tell no one ever.
I will no, I will not.
Take it to your grave.
And then she like starts preparing some tea, like for me, and like gives me like a bit of the lore. And then this whole fucking crazy thing happens, and it's all synced up with the music that's happening there at the same time. And then like
they all have to be running on pretty exact time,
exact schedules. And then eventually she spilled part of it on me and like freaked out and starts slamming her head on shit and like losing her mind.
Wow.
And then just like forces me out. And I'm back on my own, and then she shuts the door again.
You're just like,
and everyone's looking at me, kind of like, what did you get? What happened? And it's like, no, shut, you can't talk. Silence. It's an amazing experience. It's super good. And I don't want to give too much details about it, but it's worth it to just go check this out. It's like nothing else you will really see as far as performances go.
There's a thing very similar, is that when I was walking by to go somewhere in Toronto, someone gave me a card for a place that's very similar, but it's literally, especially for Liam, it's room escape.
There's a place like that.
Yeah.
There's like bombs and timers and puzzles and figure it out.
That's located.
But this is like a more theatrical.
literally like 3 blocks
the
that
room
way.
escape thing is totally here in Montreal called Amaze. That's one thing.
I think that's
but
what
this
it
is, excuse me, this is Sleep No More. And the only thing I want to say is like,
Was it scary, by the way?
yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Especially when you're on your own and
Well,
just
of course,
tons
exactly.
of creepy shit.
Yeah.
No, you walk into an empty fucking nursery and you see the creepy bloodstained crib, and then you're like, okay, and then around the roof is just dolls of babies with their heads ripped off, just like hanging and shit. Like, it's fucking creepy.
That's
mood
scary.
the whole way through.
That's too scary.
And like all I want is
Why do they run the baby version?
and the one thing,
Never, Liam.
I'll give you, like, because I saw another performance where a girl got pulled into a secret room.
Oh, like a separate thing.
Yeah, so there's it's like if you're lucky, you're one of the few that gets to learn a piece of the plot.
Right.
People are in this.
Yeah, that
The performance.
No, like how many
So it's
customers, participants?
So
file in?
it's a 5-floor hotel, right, with multiple rooms.
Are we talking 20, 100?
how many people are let in?
How many people are let in at a time? I want to say that over the course of its last 3 hours.
Okay, and that was my second question.
You're locked in there for about 3 hours.
3 hours is a good amount of time.
right,
Yeah.
to really get in there. And you're probably in there with, maybe like 100 people.
Okay, that's
Really? That's way more than
that
I thought.
time limit
That's-
and those
yeah, that's
amounts seem correct.
But it's a number that it's large enough that like you will see a giant crowd and go, some shit's going on over there.
Yeah.
But if you wander off on your own,
You'll be totally by
you will
yourself.
be alone.
Yeah, okay.
And the only other thing I'm going to give with it is that there's moments where stories start to like come together, right? And you get awesome moments where like you like a bunch of people meet up at a bar and like start playing, like they're playing this creepy fucking card game. And eventually, like one,
Are they playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Is that what
they're playing a game with a deck of cards, and every time like a certain card gets played, like one of them, like everyone looks around and gets all kind of fucked up, and one of them grabs that card, walks over to a wall that's just darkness. They grab a lamp and point it at this wall, and this card has been nailed infinitely to this wall, and they just add another number. And then, like, a dude in, like, that's, like, everyone's having their shots playing this card game. And then this man just soaked in blood just walks through the room.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right.
Follow that
You gonna
guy.
follow him or not? Are you gonna know? All right, well, hey.
Well,
And-
unfortunately, what you'd want to do is figure out where he came from.
Exactly, right? And so the genius of the design of this thing is that you do decide, for example, to follow him or not or whatever. You get this, oh God, a pregnant woman just down in shots at this bar, and you're like, what's her story? And whoever you
I
follow...
imagine you have to go to this like 15 times to get.
if you want to get the full thing...
A lot of replay value is what you're
So
saying.
they do sell an art book at the end that kind of pieces it
How
together
much-
for you. But
how much
but,
did this cost?
So there depends on when you go, because you can go for like the full thing where like you stay there, have a dinner, have a full show.
Okay.
For like
You didn't do that,
No, I didn't do that. And that full thing is like what, like I think like $225, $250.
That's it?
Or you can go see a regular show on a regular night for like $150. Or special nights we got in $100.
Okay.
You know.
You seem reasonable for
3
the
hours.
level
Extremely.
of absurd production.
Yeah, and and the bar is real. Like, you order drinks at the real bar, and then they're like, the fucking...
Does a skeleton serve it to you?
Your BioShock style Rapture
Yeah.
bartenders serve it up to you,
The
while
word you're looking for is Art Deco.
Someone gets a drink with a roofie and they wake up in another part of the
another
story.
part of the story. Yeah. And the only thing I want to say is like you have a moment where all your characters, as it were, you follow them down into this large area, this big banquet hall, and it's just you get to watch this whole amazingly coordinated scene unfold, and then some shit goes down, and then that banquet breaks up. And then you get to choose who to follow again, and then you realize that's loop 2.
Is this the thing you were saying?
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Right? And so you're like, oh my god, this is actually a sequence. So I can
starting
now,
again, yeah.
I can now go, right? And then you start to do the second loop and see
You can see Bloodman over there, not covered in blood,
and you get to
go
right.
Bloodman.
So you start, and then exactly, and you do that second loop, but the second loop is not the exact same.
Of course,
Yeah.
not.
Is this
And
thing
then,
you're saying
yeah.
is like the thing from Kimmy Schmidt? The haunted
No, that's something. The fucking werewolf stupid thing.
that's the last thing you're talking
That's some
about.
dumb restaurant shit.
Is
That's
this
not
like
that.
too many
Because
Spider-Man?
you said you saw something that was similar.
Yeah, there's a place called
God,
Times
if only.
Scare in New
Oh,
York City.
it's so good.
And I
that.
think it's a horror themed
no
restaurant.
matter what
Yeah.
you do, no matter what experience you have, no matter what restaurant you go to, no matter whatever cultured thing you do, Matt will always zoom in on the Denny's equivalent
Yeah.
of that experience
And
go,
microscopic.
oh yeah, Times Square, yeah, it's the best.
So anyway, putting it out there because it's something that
Awesome.
it's clearly not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
And it's clearly very time limited,
So if
it's
you're
like,
there.
get to it if you can. And doing some research on the guys that put it together, apparently these guys got hired to do a Resistance 3 promo thing in the UK of a similar ARG
because I remember there was a
experience.
thing like that. Now that you
Yeah.
mention it, because I was following
They,
that.
and they
Yeah.
converted a giant room into a Resistance 3 survival chamber.
This,
Yeah.
this reminds me.
Wow,
of,
it's awesome that they can make a living.
There
off
was
Exactly.
there was a failed Kickstarter that was kicking around a long time ago that was the most absurdly large scale thing I've ever seen. The idea was like, okay, Detroit land is cheap. It's fucking cheap because no one even lives there. It's
Uh-huh.
just empty lots.
Why not turn all of Detroit into
what
an
if we
ARG?
bought 8 blocks of Detroit and turned it into a gigantic
Running
zombie
Man.
paintball
Yeah.
scenario?
Running Man.
It would cost nothing. Yeah.
Well, land-wise, it would, and then that never went anywhere because of the
Right.
logistics. But that'd be so cool.
Yeah. But no, this is
Turn
your,
it into the Thunderdome.
this is your real life because I like ARGs in concept on paper.
But if you
But
give them,
actually executing them is
Very
beyond
difficult,
what
and the
any
fact
of us
that
individually
and the
can
main
do,
and the
yeah.
main problem is that you have a life.
Yeah.
no, the,
You know what I
the
mean?
If
problem,
it's not easy enough that I can digest it, then it's like
the problem
eh.
with ARGs. They have to be balanced towards the internet, and the internet has infinite time power
Yeah.
Yeah.
for ARGs,
And
which means you and I will never be able to actually
no
play them,
individual can
right?
And that
finish
level
it.
of running out to the phone booth as it's ringing to answer the phone in time, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you have a localized ARG with its difficulty scaled towards human beings solving it in 2 hours,
can be really
then
sad.
then yeah,
And again, you're locked in. And at some points,
even if you don't solve it, progress is nice.
and you can loop back to the entrance eventually. You can, if you wander long enough, you'll find it where you get back into the bar and the band is still playing, and you can have a drink and you can calm down,
Yeah.
and then put the mask on and go back in.
So, like, unless
You know?
it's spoilers, like, how does it end? Is there one guy?
There's
thing
a
or something?
How does it end?
But I mean,
Sounds
no, but
like-
I mean, like, it's
I
not
don't-
possible for people to stay out at the edges.
No,
is
no,
it?
no. There's okay. I'm not going to get into specifics.
But they funnel everyone
So there's
back,
there's
basically.
3 loops, and each loop gets more fucked up.
That's what
and
3
then
hours,
the
I
final
imagine?
loop, basically, when all the shit's going down, and your mask is sweating, you're fucking drenched, and you're just like because it's 3 hours of just your senses being
Yeah.
overloaded with like immersion. It hits the point where you go for that final banquet. And there's basically
right, okay,
if you're
yeah.
following anybody, you're gonna end up in this room, and you get that eyes wide shut, creepy ass feeling of like everyone is in masks, just watching something go down, you know.
yeah.
And then there's these people that are in all black that are your enforcer type people that you don't
the guide
you
people.
can't see them,
Yeah.
Stop fucking up the show.
right? But if you turn a corner where you're not supposed to be, there's one standing there.
Okay.
And eventually they slowly close in on you, and you get ushered towards the exit.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's actually cool. You have enough enforcers to cover every possible hallway and exit, and all they have to do is move forward a little bit.
That's what you pay $150 a person for.
Yeah, and they even have it like in the the thing where it's like a game teaches you a mechanic and then like you use it when you need to. So you have a little bit of that where like the first super dark pitch black hallway, you turn and you see a light source, and next to that light source is a vague, super like what is that shape? And it's like, oh, that's an enforcer right there, blocking a path where you're not supposed to go, and you're supposed to go to the right type of thing. You're like, okay, that's what he's there for. My safety / don't do this
out of bounds
type of thing.
Out of bounds.
So that's the shit.
Oh, today's going to be a long podcast.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm just
look at the time.
It's cool. I'm not.
No, that's fine. Man, just make a long podcast.
Yeah, because this thing was awesome. I wanted to give that the time it needs.
It sounds really
Beyond
cool,
that, I checked out the Guggenheim, and like half of it was shut down, so I didn't get to see a lot of the